All right, Jean-Luc, how about our first big guest?
It is now my honor to introduce the president of the Lawrence Board of Education. She is a teacher in the Kansas City schools and a Lawrence Public Schools parent. Please welcome Miss Melissa Johnson.
Good morning. Hello, hello. Good morning. I am a morning person, so I need that energy from you, or you will be really annoyed with me. So, once again, good morning, Lawrence Public School. Thank you, Jean-Luc. I am a proud parent and former teacher of the Lawrence Public Schools District. I had my students, 3 children, go through Cordley Elementary. Cordley, where you at? I also taught at Cordley. So Cordley, where you at again? They went to Liberty Memorial Central Middle School. I have 1 LHS alum and 2 currently at LHS. So LHS, where you at? That's right. Klinsky, I see you. So today, I am so honored to be able to speak to you. I'm honored to be able to be here in the presence of fellow educators. You look beautiful out there. No lie, no lie. I wanted to come talk to you today. I know when I ran my campaign based on being a teacher, being a parent, being just a concerned community member. And I know we've been talking with our new strategic plan about having that trusted adult and the power of that. And the reason why I stand before you today is because of those trusted adults that came along my path. So I wanted to kind of share a little story, and I wanted you to, as I share this story, you may begin to envision some of your students that you've had, or maybe some students that you will encounter. So growing up, when you come sometimes from certain communities, you were told to keep your business in the house. Don't take it to the street. And with that, sometimes holding things in, you do more damage than good. And if it wasn't for some of my encounters with those trusted adults, I would not have felt the need or the strength. I wouldn't have the strength to come out and share certain things. So this wasn't my original speech. I wasn't going to talk about this, and I was in the car with my cousin the other day, and I'm like, what can I say to fellow educators, because there's a little pressure, I'm not going to lie. And I was like, what can I say? And I was preparing what I wanted to say, and I'm like, oh, this is good, yeah. But something didn't feel quite right. And as I was traveling on a Sunday, yes, a Sunday, to my school, because the building was open, and it is the first week of school, and no matter how much you prep, there's still more prepping to do. You understand that, right? So I was going there, and I was listening to her talk about her son and how she probably found a mentor for him. He's 21, he went to college for a little while, and it wasn't a good fit for him. And I was like, that's it. That's it. I don't know, the universe, the powers that be, it just clicked on what I needed to say. So, since I can remember, I used to always have this dream, and I was on a stage, big auditorium, and I was singing, and I was good. That's how I know it was a dream. And I sat there and I'm like, what does this dream mean? What does this dream mean? And And although I was singing in those dreams, it wasn't meant for me to sing. It was meant for me to stand here today, I believe, and share that story. Share this story with you in hopes that you will imagine, you will picture those students, whether they tell you these things or not, but you will take those things into consideration as you are going out to teach and build those relationships with your students. So, I'm student Melissa, 4th grade. I lived about 2 blocks from the projects, and I went to a school that was literally across the street from the projects. So, I saw some things. I had family members who were, what they say, hustling, hanging out on the street, and probably wanted to content warn people that, there's some mention of some abuse. So, to want you to be mentally prepared for that. And probably for about 7 to 11, I remember uncles not being uncles and, doing less than ideal things to me. And I remember 4th grade, we had this talk, and it was like the safe touch talk. And I remember thinking, oh no, what's gonna happen to me? It got to the point where I knew it was wrong, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I was gonna go to live, because I was moving from back and forth from house to house, and this was the one stable house for me. And I was fearful. I didn't know what to do. But I had Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kelly was my 4th grade teacher. He grew up in the hood like I did, so that was a connection, and all the girls thought he was so fine. I did too, but it felt kind of awkward. But after that talk, Mr. Kelly was like, not you, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, obviously.
Not this Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kelly, this Mr. Kelly is not from my hood. I grew up in New York.
I thought you did, to be honest. I didn't know.
Didn't need to be said.
But Mr. Kelly looked at me, and he knew something was up. And I tried to deny it. And he's like, I know you, because he built that relationship with me. And so finally told Mr. Kelly, and he saw me all the way through, from the time I was placed in a foster home temporarily until the time I was placed into a family member's home. These are some of the students, whether they say it or not, that you may encounter. And although they're acting up, giving you attitude, whatever it may be, think about 4th grade Melissa Johnson. If Mr. Kelly would have thought that way and just ignored me or pushed me to the side or send me to someone else, I don't know if I would be standing here. So that was the turning point for my life, but hardships still come. And I remember being in middle school, we called it junior high school, and this was a staff member. It wasn't a teacher, it wasn't someone that I had to encounter every day, but I did encounter, and she had a side gig where she would do hair and makeup for movies, and just so happened to be shooting a movie on my block. They were dead presidents. Am I aging myself? How many of you know dead presidents? Yeah. I got to meet Tay Diggs. And I was really jealous that he was on screen with his on-screen girlfriend. I was like, no, you're supposed to wait until I'm old enough. But I remember her talking to me, and that was a point where, because of Mr. Kelly being open with him and him helping me, rescuing me, I was able to start to open up a little more. And I remember her, like I said, I saw her around the schools, talking to her, and, you know, teenage years, need I say more? I was being a teenager, a real teenager, and some of that contributed to my life, the situations, but some of it did not. And I remember talking with her, and just her being there for me, and to the point of just instilling positivity, you know, telling me that she believed in me, and she didn't even know me. So at first I was like, yeah, right, you don't even know me, you're just saying that. But she did. She continued to reach out. She sent me postcards and holiday cards, and even told me that I could come live with her, which at that time I was like, oh, weird. Like, I hardly know you, lady. But she was willing to do that. So that gave me that sense of courage and confidence to know, like, if this kind of stranger, someone that I rarely see, can impart into my life and even offer me a place of refuge, like, I must be destined to do something great. And fast forward, I knew I wanted to do what they've done for me. So I decided to become a teacher. I think when I was like 8, I wanted to become a teacher. I always played school. Then I was like, FBI, special agent. Then I knew I overanalyzed a lot of the time, so I was looking that up, and I'm like, if I really wanted to do what I wanted to do in the FBI, like, I wouldn't be able to have a family because people might try to come and hunt them down or something. So I was like, but I really love teaching. And Mr. Kelly and Miss Thelma, I just like saying Thelma like that, were the key to kind of turning me back and getting me on the right track. And that's why I became a teacher. I wanted to be able to do what Mr. Kelly has done, what Miss Thelma, even though, again, she wasn't an educator, but she was involved. She was a part of the staff in the school districts. So staff that are not teachers, where you at? Custodians, bus service, lunch ladies, lunch people. You play a part in these students' lives as well. You never know what you say or what you do that is going to impact the young minds, the young scholars that you encounter each day. So I became a teacher, and I've been able to kind of share my stories with students. I don't give them every detail, but I let them know. And if you're one of those teachers that feel like, oh, I don't want to share that information, you never know. Just open up a little bit. You never know what your story, what your narrative can do to one of your students' lives. You may just say the right thing at the right time, and they'll say, look, Miss Harrell, yeah, that's Miss Harrell did X, Y, Z, and she became a teacher. You know, I can do it too. Okay? As a parent, I've had those teachers in my students' lives. I can name Miss Harrell again, Miss Harrell, Mr. Plinsky, I can just go on and on. Miss Orthlub, she's not here anymore, but she's here. No, she is still alive. Gosh.
Wow.
Well, that just
got awkward.
Yeah. Congrats, Lois.
Way to go, Johnson. But just open up, be transparent, build those relationships. Don't be scared. Think of 4th grade Melissa Johnson, probably sitting in your seat. Junior high school Melissa Johnson, probably sitting in your seat. So what can you do? What can you say, even if you had one encounter with that student? Know that one encounter can change their world. And that's all I have for you. Have an awesome year. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Now, let's welcome the face behind all of the emails that I get. Anybody know who I'm welcoming? No. Next, let's welcome Free State Journalism teacher and president of the Lawrence Education Association, Lori Folso.
So I just want to start out this morning having you guys cheer. Are you still alive? Are you all still alive? Thank you, Melissa, for the wonderful comments and sharing the story about her experiences as a student in a classroom where a teacher really made a difference. As Brittany said, I'm Lori Folsom, president of the Lawrence Education Association. I hail from Free State High School, where I teach journalism, and we're going to come back to that in a little bit. We need to take a moment to celebrate. Please clap if you are a new teacher in USD 497. Welcome. Please clap if you are a new teacher to our district. So not a first-year teacher, but new to our district. Please give a clap if you have a new principal this year. Some of you have a couple new principals this year. Give us a hand if you're teaching a new subject area this year. Now this next one, you're going to have to muster the energy for this, but please clap if you're starting the school year with a new baby. The only way I can explain that is they have had not enough sleep, and yeah, they're just living on coffee right now. Alternately, clap if you have a new spouse starting this school year. Sounds like that may be news to some people. Where are our new custodial and maintenance staff members? They should clap, but then we should clap for them. What about those brave souls who are going to face our students with us every day, our paraprofessionals? Sorry, I'm still getting used to this new face ID thing. So we have assistants who help our administrators and help our school staff. We have staff who help support our students, like nurses and counselors. Where are they at this morning? respond to a headline in this weekend's Lawrence Journal World that basically read the district would need to cut $500,000 from its budget to afford the salary increase in our teacher contract. I'll say that if one of my high school journalism students hadn't attended more than one of the negotiation sessions and wrote a story without interviewing members of either LEA or the district negotiations team, I would have given them a D. The headline that went along with that story was an absurdly reductionist take on a very complex issue. As we start the school year, we should be focused on the best of this district. Please embrace the new, and let's cheer for our new students. Thank you.
Good morning. That was okay. Good morning. That's better. How are we? Are we good? Are we ready for an exciting year? Are we ready for an exciting year? All right, so let me start by saying I have some notes here, and I'm going to try to stick to these notes because I know if I don't stick to the notes, we may be here to 12 o'clock, and I don't want to keep you here to 12 o'clock. But I'm known to go off script, so I'm going to try to stick to the script. Wow, Patrick, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Give John Luke and our host, Brittany Harrell, and Patrick, he had to leave. And John Luke, this is tough to stand up here in front of all of these people that are looking at you. To this Lead Center amazing staff and this beautiful facility, let's give it up for our Lead Center staff. Definitely to Derek Kwan, thank you for allowing us to be in this space. And I will tell you, this is a huge production. It's people up here with the lights. It's people back here. It's people back there that all come together to really make this work happen. And so I'm super excited to be here with you today. I'm pumped. This is my second year. Last year I stood over here behind the podium. I stood there the entire time. I'm going to kind of walk around this morning. But I'm excited because Lawrence is simply amazing. You are simply amazing. You're so amazing that I want to be here 20 years from now, still giving a convocation address. So I kind of envision myself what I would look like in 20 years giving the 2039 convocation address. I still look good, right? Still got the same suit though, right? So let me just start by saying two simple words, thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. Most importantly, the reason I'm here is because of 7 individuals that came together and decided to select Dr. Anthony Lewis as the superintendent of this district. Our board. Board members, would you please stand? Give them a hand. Kelly, GR, Jill Fincher, Shannon Kimball, and board president Melissa Johnson. Now, I have 7 bosses. And I'm very fond of all 7 of them. And many of you just have one boss. You may not be fond, don't look at them. You may not be fond of them, but I'm very fond of my 7 bosses, and I get the opportunity to work with them because they're truly passionate about Lawrence Public Schools. And we also have Jessica Beeson in her absence, and Rick Ingram also in his absence. Give them a hand. We have an election coming up. Shannon Kimball is running. I can't tell you who to vote for, but I enjoy working with Shannon. So let me just say that. And Jill is leaving us, and so is Rick. Did I do something, Jill? No? Okay. To our amazing ELT, Executive Leadership Team staff, please stand. Dave, Paula, Zach, Kathy, Tony, Kevin Harrell, and Jerry Kimball. To our many directors, Rick and Darcy, where are you? Thank you for supporting our principals who support all of our staff. To our amazing human resources department, where are you? Thank you for what you do. And you know, there's many people that make this district work. Print shop, they do a phenomenal work. I come from districts where we used to have to send our things off to get printed, but we have an amazing print shop right here in-house. Our finance department, all of our special education people, my peeps, SPED facilitators and SPED teachers. Where are my SPED teachers? Thank you. Early childhood. My friends, Jill Anderson and the crew. Facilities and operations that keep our buildings spotless, and they are prepping our buildings for our scholars. And to our pals, our para-educators, where are you? Thank you. Thank you for what you do. And I know I probably left somebody off. So if you're in a building in this district, thank you. That should cover everybody. Hopefully everybody's in a building. Again, I want to thank Lori Fossum and her partnership with the LEA. Lori, thank you. Where are you? I will tell you, last year this time, I wasn't so happy because we had not come to an agreement yet. It was not until October, but we've come to an agreement with our IBB, and thank you so much to all of our teachers that served on our negotiations teams and our staff as well for serving on our negotiations teams. Thank you. Can we please give a thank you to Julie Boyle? The amazing Julie Boyle. She put this entire thing together, and also the phenomenal Rachel Thomas now. She's got married in the back. Thank you, Rachel. Last but not least, John Luke, I want to thank my family, who's right here. Stand up. They allow me to be away from home a lot, to do what I love, so thank you so much. And come on, John Luke. There she is right there. To my amazing wife, Tiffany, who, you can go down there and give it to her, who allows me to be away from home. And she sometimes tags along to events with me, so thank you so much, sweetheart, for allowing me to do what's best for this school district. I love you. And the person that keeps me organized at work, Elise Donnell, my executive assistant, wave. You know, I have made it my mission as your superintendent to fight for you. You are hardworking, you're caring, you're inspiring, you're indestructible. I want to make sure that we are able to focus on what we all are here to do, and that's change the lives of our amazing scholars. So I ask you, what are you looking forward to this year? What is your passion? Go back to your why you decided to get into education. Why are you here today? What keeps you coming back day after day? Absolutely, academics should be the cornerstone of what we do because education provides potential for economics and it provides an avenue for our students to better themselves. But we must absolutely focus on the social and emotional health and mental health of our scholars. And we believe that we have an opportunity to bring this district back to the #1 school district in Kansas, with the potential to bring families and more families to Kansas. You can clap for that. And as we launch our strategic plan, as Lori indicated, there's a lot of new. And I want you to embrace the new. And the district also revealed a fresh new logo. We have a fresh look. So everybody look on the screen and say bye-bye to the old logo. Ready? I love it. You know, this new logo represents our students who are bright, creative, and full of ideas, how they will change the world. It represents the many aha moments that your students have because of you, when you guide them to gaining knowledge and learning new skills. Our students shine, and they continue to shine each and every day. And the mortarboard represents our mission. Lawrence USD 497 is a learning community committed to ensuring educational equity and excellence so that all students of all races and backgrounds achieve at high levels and graduate prepared for success in college, careers, and life in a diverse and rapidly changing world. You guys like that? Awesome. Did you get a picture of it, Brittany? Were you trying to get a picture of it?
It's okay.
Okay, you good? All right, so I received an email recently. As a matter of fact, I received quite a few emails lately, and thank you to all of you who sent me those emails. But they were emails telling me that there's a different feel in the district this year, that this year, the start of the school year has been amazing. And so if you sent an email, thank you. But I want to highlight this one email that was sent to me actually by one of our principals. And she goes on to say, I'm so excited for this school year, and I think it is because of the overall mindset of the district. Our mindset is changing. Clap. Our mindset is changing. And then she ends by saying, thank you, Dr. Lewis, for taking time to listen, and let's go. And so what I did, I read the entire email, but I paid attention to two words, those last two words, where she said, let's go. Let's go. 2 words, 6 letters, let's go. So, let's go. When you think about it, many of our teams and many of our coaches, they utter those words. Right before the team begins to take the field or the court or the track, they utter those words. And the excitement from our scholar athletes that they can conquer the world. Coaches are telling them, let's go. They're telling their teammates, let's go. We can do this. They get excited. They believe that nothing is impossible. No matter what team they're facing or what opponent they're facing, let's go. They believe that they can conquer. So when I think about the term and look at the term, let's go, it's first person plural imperative to go. Hurry up, be quick. Used to show excitement, express impatience, or to challenge someone. Look at the person next to you and challenge them. Say, let's go. Now that's just 2 words, so I don't know what you're talking about. It's just 2 words. Used in speech to tell someone to go or work faster. Used in speech to express a wish, a request, or a suggestion to depart. A suggestion to depart past practices that have been proven to be ineffective. A suggestion to depart from the same way we've been doing things just because we've been doing them. Let's go. And I'm really mashing the clicker, but nothing's happening here. All right, so as we start, as every good educator do, we model, right? So our central question for today: what will it take to make Lawrence Public Schools the best school district in the country? When we think about essential questions, students' metacognition, their thinking about their thinking increases when we use essential questions. It's all about clarity of learning intentions for students. And if you're familiar with John Hattie's research, what I'll be referring to quite a bit, learning intentions and expectations have a 0.75 effect size and is one of the most effective practices to promote student learning. A 1.75 effect size, that translates into about 2 years of growth. 2 years of growth. That's super powerful. And so we're asking that we clarify those intentions, those learning intentions for our students by posting our learning objectives and big ideas or standards in student-friendly language, and then align the instruction to those essential questions. All right? Are we ready? Are we ready? Thank you, Brittany. Brittany's going to be my hype woman for the day. All right, so before we get into where we need to go in answering, and John Luke, you too, buddy, and answering our essential question, let's talk about some of our accomplishments, and I'm going to breeze through these. First of all, we had 6 listening and learning tours, sessions, 5 strategic planning sessions, 2 community conversations. As a result of the community conversations on safety, we launched our All Student Safes webpage as well as our Contact Us. We expanded our educational opportunities, established a district-wide assessment and academic team where members of our executive leadership team went out in buildings and classrooms to get a clear picture of instruction and to provide support to our buildings. Developed our curriculum and identified our priority standards. All the teachers that worked with our curriculum, wave your hand. Give them a huge round of applause. Thank you. Developed a curriculum framework, finalized our equity resource criteria, created our Jayhawk Blueprint, our partnership with KU, where our high school students will have the potential to leave high school with pretty much a year of college under their belt. That's huge. And we also created our leadership development program in partnership with LMH Health. And so that was huge to provide some opportunities for 3 of our scholars this past summer to get some leadership development from our partners over at LMH. Plus, they get a scholarship. So thank you, LMH, for that. This summer, we conducted our 2-day Administrative Leadership Institute for all of our building leaders, conducted 2 Board of Education retreats with our amazing board. We expanded our AVID programs and strategies. We earned a grant to launch Kansas Reading Roadmap Literacy Program. If your school is a Kansas Reading Roadmap program school, make some noise. Yes. Your accomplishments: National Blue Ribbon School, Hillcrest Elementary School. Yes. Challenge Award schools: Broken Arrow, Hillcrest, New York, and Swagler. Where's the W? Where's the W? Is the W asleep? Come on, put that back up. New York. Okay, there we go. The W was asleep. Kansas Teacher of the Year finalist Nicole Korn from Sunset Hill. Semi-finalist Carrie Davis from Liberty Memorial Central Middle School. Thank you, John Luke. I need that energy. And just recently, our Kansas High School Athletic Association awarded Free State High School the Performing Arts School of Excellence Award. That's extremely huge. And that's 1 out of 354 programs in the state. We are the best. Thank you, Free State. And then our Kansas Redesigned Schools. Where are you? Broken Arrow, Deerfield, Hillcrest, and Free State. More accomplishments. 2019 Elementary Teacher of the Year. You heard from him this morning, Peter Gibson. Sunflower. Our Secondary Teacher of the Year from Liberty Memorial Central Middle School, Julitha Rouse. Our Lawrence Schools Foundation ACE Award, amazing para at Hillcrest, Margaret Dixon. And James Ortiz, an amazing custodian at West Middle School. A couple of our MLK One Dream winners, Champion for Equity, Shakia Bland, LHS. And Heart of Service Award, Demetrius Kemp, who's also an Alabama fan at Free State. Jayhawk Rotary Teacher of the Year, Susie Micka, over at Lawrence High. Crown Automotive Educator of the Year, Eric Carroll at Liberty Memorial. Class Act Award, Tom Louds at Facilities Maintenance and Construction. Lawrence Horizon Award, Cheyenne Hanson Marlowe at Swegler, and Alyssa Barrett at Free State. And what about our amazing scholars? Let's make some noise for our amazing scholars. For our high schools, we're in the top 3% in the state. Both of our high schools are in the top 12, according to U.S. News and World Report. Now we're in the top 12. Now all we need to do now is just separate that 1 and 2. We need one that's number 1 and the second one number 2, or they can be tied for first. 10 National Merit Scholars, 9 Commended Scholars, and 2 National Hispanic Recognition Program Scholars. Lawrence High had 10. Free State had 10 into the National Speech and Debate Tournament. And then what about our state championships? Many state championships that we won this year. Free State High School Speech, LHS Track and Field, Volleyball, Free State Softball, and LHS Swimming and Diving. What about the budget? That's simply amazing over at Lawrence High. National Scholastic Press Association Pacemaker Award. But wait, there's more. More accomplishments. For our parents as teachers, are you here? They presented at an international conference on the work that they've been doing around equity. LVS, which is the largest virtual school program in the state. LVS. Okay, you scared me for a minute. Thought maybe you were watching virtually. They had a student. They had a student that scored in the top 100 scores in the state and in the state geography B. What are C-Tran? Addison Smith is featured in the Windsor newsletter for outstanding volunteer service. We have a lot to be proud of in this district. There's so many amazing things that's going on in the district. And so what about our quantitative data, our Kansas assessment program? The schools with the most growth on our Kansas assessment program. Quail Run, Langston Hughes, Broken Arrow, Swegler, Kennedy, 7% growth in ELA. What about math? Woodlawn, Langston Hughes, Free State, Broken Arrow, Kennedy, 7% growth. Now, I don't know what you heard about Kennedy, but you can scratch it. They had the most growth in the district. Thank you, Kennedy. So, you may be wondering, we have all of this going on. What do we need to do? How do we get better? How do we get better? And I think St. Jerome said it best. Good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good is better and your better is best. Say that again. Good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good is better and your better is best. One more time, everybody. This is how we get better. We must have continued focus and alignment. For a while, we've been operating on the box on the left. We have a lot of great things, but they're going in different directions. So how do we continue to move to true alignment where everything that we do is aligned? And I'm going to show you how. But the first thing we must do is make sure that we're honoring and looking and hearing our student voices. These amazing faces that is the reason why we're all here. These amazing faces and voices tell us what we need to do if we just take time to listen. I know our content is important, but you're teaching the content to these faces. So we have to listen to our scholars. And we did. We gave a survey to all of our secondary scholars, middle and high school, and this is what they had to say. My My teachers care about me. 86% of them said, yes, my teachers care about me. That's good. If I'm absent, some adult is going to check on me or notice that I was absent. That's important to our scholars, for someone to notice, hey, Braxton, get off the phone and pay attention to your daddy. He's looking at me like, Dad, did you really just call me out? But for someone to notice, Braxton, I missed you yesterday. Where were you? Just that simple act is extremely powerful for our scholars. I feel safe, about 77%. Still a large percent feel that they don't feel safe. And the things I'm learning in school are important to me, 73%. So that speaks to that relevancy. I feel like I'm a part of this school connectedness, 80%. So 20% really feel that they're not connected. So those are some of the things we need to address. And then they unloaded on the comments. They really did. So I want to share some of these with you, so just bear with me. In most of my classes, I learned things that are not relevant and then ask, and I just took this exactly where they written it, so don't think that Dr. Lewis did not capitalize his eyes up here now. In most of my classes, I learned things that are not relevant, and then when I ask the teacher how this applies in the real world, they get mad at me. I feel that this school is an amazing school and has great staff. I have nothing but great things to say about this school in the 3 years I've spent here. The teachers are very supportive and put in a lot of effort into teaching and helping students. Thank you, teachers. Nothing we learn in school is going to apply to my life. I don't know how to pay my taxes. I don't know how to balance a checkbook. I have no clue what credit is. I have some work to do there. However, on a less essential level, I would love for everyone to be learning more. One of the problems that I've had with this school system for a while is that so much talent is squandered due to the overlooking of potential. Wow, powerful. It's a lot of potential here in this district. I strongly appreciate the option to go to the College and Career Center. Patrick just left, so he didn't see this. I wish I could focus more on similar classes. All the teachers are very nice, and they care a lot about the students at this school, and I love this one. All the teachers are so stinking nice that it makes my head explode. And all the counselors, where are the counselors? You should get a raise. And hey, doodling is not a bad thing. Let your students doodle. I would be enlightened to tell you that I live in a very good part of town and to stop making assumptions based on my skin tone. Wow. Some people at my school are very racial and say racial slurs toward people of color or people of other races. This is our students' voices. And then I love the last one, the student that had empathy. I don't like how it feels that dark people have a tough time. These are our scholars' voices. This school needs to find teachers that understand and can process the fact that all students don't learn the same. It is a good school, yes, that's true. They learn differently. It's a good school, and this school is full of great teachers, and I strongly hope that my children will one day go here and enjoy it as much as I do. That's a powerful testament. And then I love this last one. And I know this survey isn't going to do anything. We take these all the time, and nothing is done. Teachers ask our opinion and don't take us seriously because we're kids and don't even make an effort to hear us out. That's just the way it is. Does that have to be just the way it is? Is it going to be just the way it is? Are we going to listen to our students? Are we going to respond to their needs? So I'm excited to do something different here in this district. Are you ready? Are you ready? All students, one team, one mission. So, this is what happened. And I'm looking for my sheet. And I promise you it's here. Y'all clap for John Luke when he was looking for his paper. You won't want to clap for me. And he lost his spot. Well, come on. Thank you. Encourage. Okay. Oh, I found it. See, all it took was a little encouragement. On June 24th, this amazing Board of Education approved our 5-year strategic plan that will guide the work that we will do. We will not get distracted. We will not retreat. We will remain focused. Everything that we do, you remember those arrows, everything that we do will be aligned. This strategic plan represents our blueprint. It's nothing magical about it. Let me repeat that. It's nothing magical about this strategic plan. The magic happens with you. The magic happens with each and every one of you. Not just the classroom teachers, but every adult that's working and touching students' lives. The magic happens with you. It's going to take a lot of effort, and I'm going to tell you it's not going to be easy. This work is difficult, but it's the right work. And it's not like some strategic plans that are beautiful and live on a shelf and they seem impossible. It's very simple. How many school districts can say that their strategic plan fit in your pocket? Right? This is it. This is our strategic plan. It outlines those few things that we will do and that we will do well. And watch us make this district the best district in Kansas and the best district in the country. But guess what? I need you. I need each and every one of you. I have confidence in you. I've seen you work. I've been in classrooms. I've been in buildings. I've seen you work. You're built for this. You are here for a reason. So let's look at our strategic plan. And John Luke did a good job of talking about this. The plan that came together the people that came together to develop this plan. And this is our promise that we're going to adhere to, we're going to stick to. And it says that Lawrence Public Schools will ensure that students of all races, backgrounds, and abilities achieve at high levels, demonstrate proficiency in reading by 3rd grade and in math by 8th grade, and graduate on time, prepared for success in college and in careers. So remember the definition of insanity, right? So I ask you, what is going to be different in your buildings, in your classrooms, in your department in order to keep this promise? We made this community a promise. We made our scholars a promise. So what's going to be different when your scholars return? What am I going to keep because I have evidence of impact? What am I going to stop because I have no evidence it's working, because we've just been doing that for a long time? And as a school system, we have to ensure and ask ourselves, what systems and structures must be present in order for your school to be successful? We have to make sure that we are providing support to you. And so we need your partnership to maximize the growth of our students. And we definitely appreciate all the teachers' work that went into designing this curriculum that's coming into place. And now, I normally don't like using the F word, fidelity, but we have to have some fidelity to this curriculum. And so it outlines, this is the what. We've identified, these are the standards. And typically the standards are here. Thank you, Julie. Typically the standards are here in terms of rigor. Now we just need to take a look at our instruction and make sure our instruction is here as well. Because if we think about the work of Richard Elmore and the instructional core, and what Richard Elmore talks about is task predicts performance. Task predicts performance. So what tasks are our students engaged in that will hopefully ultimately predict their performance? So these three things are all what's important. The teacher, improving our instructional practices, engaging our students in the learning process, and then providing academically challenging, rigorous content. This is the instructional core. This is what improves student outcomes. We talk about our achievement gap. We can't work to close the achievement gap. That's the gap is a result of data, and so it's just that. But there's this thing called opportunity gap. So what opportunities are we providing our scholars? And one of the things that will help with that is some of the training that you've been involved in around culture responsive teaching. And there's been numerous studies that have demonstrated that culture responsive teaching can strengthen school connectedness. Remember our data around school connectedness. And when students are able to see themselves in the curriculum, that's when real learning happens. So the only question that is important, the only question that matters is how will we get every single student there? This is the brunt of our equity work. There's one standard, there's one bar, and it's up to us to make sure that we're doing all we can to get every single student to and through that bar. Standards, we're not going to lower it. The standard is here. Now, what scaffolding do I need to do to bring my students up? Every single student subgroup, even our students with disabilities, students with special needs, students that have IEPs, they don't belong just to the SPED teachers. They belong to all of us. So ensuring that we are looking at our Tier 1 instruction and making sure our students with disabilities and students that are on IEPs are in the general classroom to listen to hear that Tier 1 instruction. So how will we get every single student to and through that bar? All of them. Because we said all students, right? Not just the ones that give us, that don't give us trouble, but every single one. Yes, the one you're thinking about, yeah, him too, or her too. Student-centered learning. Meet our unique students' academic needs, social-emotional needs, equip our students to effectively implement the district multi-tiered system of support. Our GEI process is hugely important in this, our CI3T. This is what will make sure we have fidelity to our student-centered learning. And then decrease the barriers to college and career. And some of those barriers may be attendance. I won't get into all of it, but just know we're looking at our data when it comes to attendance. Attendance matters. Whether the absence is excused or unexcused, it's still an absence. When they're not in the seat, of course we know they can't learn. So I won't go into too much detail on this, but just know we have data. If you want it, I can send it to you. We have data on the impact because we know that if students are not there, they can't learn. So we looked at our data and compared it to our students' attendance. And so basically, the students with the highest scores have the highest attendance. I think we all knew that. So we looked at that for NWA as well. And so what are we doing in our individual buildings to make sure that there's a huge focus on attendance? Safe and supportive schools. Now, students have to be able to show up as their true, authentic selves. There's severe emotional damage done when kids cannot be their true, authentic selves. So how do we encourage our students to be their true selves and encourage that positive student behavior and reduce behaviors that interfere with learning? Because here's the thing. When a student can't read, what do? Hold on now. If a student can't read, what do? Teach them how to read. Thank you. When a student struggles with math, what do? Teach them math. When a student misbehaves, what do? Typically suspend, right? Or do an office referral. Behavior is a language. So how can we make sure that we are teaching our students? That's why they come to school, to learn. So we have to teach those behavioral skills as well. Because when we look at our discipline data for elementary, middle, and high, sum it up, about 4 in every 10 students are sent to the office. And when we look at our subgroups, we still have a disproportionate number of students of color and students with disabilities that are sent to the office at high numbers. And this last column represents the percent of population. So about close to 4 out of 10 African American students, about approximately 5 out of 10 students with disabilities are sent to the office. This is the equity work that we have to focus on. And you've probably seen this quote: "Child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth." Are you embracing our students? I posted this on Twitter several days ago, and I can't tell you the number of inboxes, messages from teachers in this district and across the country that message me and says, somebody gets it. But it just simply said, if you don't know me, you can't teach me. Every student needs and deserves a caring adult. And then I quoted some John Hattie research. Teacher-student relationships, 72.72 effect size. Teacher content knowledge, 0.09. Students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That's not just me saying that. That came from John Hattie's research. He did over 800 meta-analysis of what works in schools. And we know that. So, if you don't believe me, you can ask Rita Pearson. She says every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they possibly can be. If you don't believe me, ask some of our own teachers.
I'm pretty deliberate about it, and you may or may not want to hear this, but I spend a lot of time, especially the first part of the school year, trying to get to know our students. So we'll have roundtables every Monday where we literally go around and talk about what they did on the weekend. I give them pop quizzes about just things that they like, or pop culture, or movies, or music, and then I have a list. I keep all that stuff. I try to remember it, and so when I see them, I have something to talk to them about, like, hey, what did you think about the Bucks? Or I'm not as good at the rap stuff, but I'll have them explain something to me. I'm like, who's Little Mosey? I don't know who that is.
I don't even know who Little Mosey is. You mentioned, you started the conversation, I may not want to hear this.
Well, because I think with my content area, it can be different. When you feel like you're a math teacher and you've got to cover all of this stuff, maybe you feel like you don't have time. I have a lot of content too. I just think the personal connection content is way more important than literally anything else. Right. And so if my kids...
Say that again.
I don't even remember the first part that I said. The personal content is more important than the education or the stereotypical educational content. Because for me, if my kids can come out of my class feeling like we care about them here, that it's safe, that they recognize that other people in that room have a lot of similarities to them, and even though they may look different, they still like the same sorts of things. You know, those freshmen come in these schools so scared and intimidated. I'm from a small town, so, you know, I had 400 people in my entire high school, which to some people think, oh, that's big, but here that's not.
Right.
And so these kids coming from middle schools coming in, it's very scary. And if the first couple of days you're like, gosh, I don't know that kid, but they like this that I like, and then they have stuff to talk about. And then they just, I hope it eases their anxiety. So I put time into it because there's literally nothing more important.
There's the personal connection content is way more important than literally anything else. Jeff Dixon, Lawrence High. And so that was a result of 2 separate sessions, I think really 3 separate sessions of me talking to teachers when our high school was engaged in activities where they identified those teachers that they felt they had caring relationships with. I took the top 5 teachers at both schools and I just sat down and had a conversation. And so about 30 or 45 minutes at each session, and we'll continue to roll out these snippets. This is how we learn from each other. Some powerful things that are going on in this district. But he said the personal connection content is more important. And so you have my permission as your superintendent to spend those first few days getting to know your students and building that personal connection. Yes, the content is important. We see the effect size of that. But if you don't know me, you can't teach me. So spend those first few days getting to know your students. The late Toni Morrison, when a child walks in your room, your child or anybody else's child, do your eyes light up? That's what they're looking for. Do your eyes light up? And I'm out of time, so I'm going to run through the rest of these. Effective employees. We have to make sure our teacher mental health is taken into account. The work has to have joy and love. So what are we doing as principals, as leaders, creating environments for our students, for our employees to thrive? And then the last one, data-informed decisions. Data doesn't tell the whole truth, but it doesn't lie. Well, put it another way, it's easier to do what's right for kids if we insist on measuring how you're doing. If we're measuring how we're doing, it's easy to make the right decisions for our students. And this is why I'm excited about our PLC work that's about to take place. teachers getting together to talk about the content, teachers getting together to talk about instructional strategies that work in your classroom. If I'm a 4th grade teacher, my counterpart across the hall is just killing this standard, and her students have learned that standard to mastery. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing to teach that standard to mastery? And it's happening here in this district. And so by becoming a professional learning community, we have the opportunity to definitely implement a proven process to positively impact our school and our school district. And even this theme also talks about our budget and program evaluation committee that was formed by our amazing finance director, Kathy Johnson, where we have a collaborative group of people that are coming together to really just look at what we're doing and where we're spending our dollars. And if we're spending our dollars on something that's not working, let's revert that money to what the community told us that's important, what we know is important. Teacher salary, paraprofessional salary. This is where we begin to address those areas. So you have the power to do this, and it's called teacher efficacy. How do you feel about how you work together as a team in getting this done? Let's let John Hattie kind of tell you about teacher efficacy.
The new number one in visible learning is teachers' collective efficacy. And on the one hand, that's exciting because it confirms the story. On the other hand, it's a bit of an unfortunate title. It kind of implies that having efficacy, having confidence, having all the teachers in the school believing they can make a difference. It's actually more than that. Now, to have a meta-analysis, you have to have lots of studies. This is not a new idea. This has been around a long time. But it's just that Rachel Ells was the one that pulled it all together to show what its combined effect was. And the message I want to get across, it is teachers working together to have appropriately high, challenging expectations of what a year's growth for a year's input looks like, fed with the evidence of impact. And that's what sustains it. It isn't just growth mindset, it's not just rah-rah thinking, it's not just, oh, we can make a difference, but it's that combined belief that it's us that causes learning. It's not the students from particular social backgrounds, it's not all the barriers out there. Because when you fundamentally believe you can make the difference, and then you feed it with the evidence you are, that is dramatically powerful.
Your belief in being able to make a difference, and it's important. And so I'm not interested in playing the old No Child Left Behind game where we're teaching to the test and all that matters is the test. It's not the end all be all, but it is an indicator of how well we're teaching the standards. And it's what some parents make decisions on about where to send their kids. And it's happening in this district. I have 2 pages of teachers in this district that 96% of their students level 3 and 4. It's 86% of level 3 and 4, 70-something%. And keep in mind, our district average is around 30 or 40. So it's happening here in this district. And so how do we wrap our arms around these teachers and learn from these teachers? I don't have first names, I just have last names. So I'll just call those last names briefly. McLennan over at Langston Hughes, Lumshek at Swegler, Hobbs at Broken Arrow, Pierce at Deerfield, Keller at Quail Run, Hutton at Quail Run, Barkley at Hillcrest, Parkhurst at Hillcrest, Brandon Daly, I know his name, over at Woodlawn, Gerard at Sunset, Harrod at Broken Arrow. So these are teachers, 2 pages of teachers that are above 50%. So it can be done, and it will continue to be done. So the big opportunity is this. We can do this. Continue to focus on our equity work. This work is hard. Many school districts around the country are just now beginning to tackle this. This school district, this was recent. This is recent. This school district just now beginning to focus on inclusion and diversity. This district is working on racial equity work. Parents push back because of boundary changes. Has some racial undertones to that. We know that. Shawnee Mission, first ever coordinator of diversity. This is this year, and we know what happened in Lee's Summit. By people just wanting to focus on equity, but we've been doing this work 10 years, 12 years. Now it's time for us to really show that we can move that needle on the achievement gap. And so it's going to take everyone, high expectations and accountability. One simple way to hold ourselves accountable is to ask this one simple question. Would I want this for my child or the children in my family? But I want this for my child, the children in my family. If we did not have the same standards for our own family, why would we want less for other people's children? Why would we want less? And I have 4 right here that I want more for. So, better is possible. It does not take genius, it takes diligence, it takes moral clarity, it takes ingenuity, and above all, it takes the willingness to just simply try. That's all I ask. So, in closing, I ask these final questions. Who do you need to be in order to make this happen? Who do you need to be in order to make this happen? I want you to go back to your why. Go back to your why. And when the work starts to get difficult, and when you start thinking too much about the how, go back to your why. I don't want to get in a situation where I received all those emails and we're excited about this year. We're here at our convocation, and then in 60 days we revert back to doing the things the way we've always done them. The research says it takes 90 days to practice new behaviors and new attitudes, and then it becomes a part of what we do daily. So I'm issuing a 90-day challenge to try something new. To everyone in this room, a 90-day challenge starting today to try something new for our scholars. We can do this work. You were built for this. Are you ready? Let's go. It's our time. It's our time to shine. Thank you so much.
Okay. When I say let's, you say go. Let's. Let's. That's it.
Right. You're supposed to be getting them height.
I know. That's what I'm trying to do. Now, when I say let's, you say go. Not to say let's. Let's.
Go.
Let's.
Go.
We are trying to make this a good year. Let's go. Let's give it up.
Test. John Luke, do you need some help?
Yeah.
Because I'm not liking what I hear
I know.
out there.
I'm sorry.
Do you need some help? Do you need some help, John Luke?
Yes.
Do you need some help, John Luke?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready for your 2018-19 school year? Lawrence Public Schools, make some noise! Now let's try this again. When they call your school, I want you to lose your mind. When they call your school, lose your mind.